Welcome to Drum Corps Central podcast. I'm a 13-year-old drum corps superfan who loves all forms of the marching arts. Thanks for watching the podcast today. There will be an almost daily episode of this podcast recapping the previous night's drum corps scores and looking ahead. Today is Thursday, July 19th. Today starts Texas tour. Today, tomorrow, and Saturday, all 24 Drum Corps International World-Class Ensembles will travel to the state of Texas. Tonight, 2 shows. Tomorrow night, they will be in Katy for 1 show, and then all 24 will go to San Antonio and the Alamo Dome and have a huge showdown on Saturday. Tonight begins that, though. I'll break down the lineups for tonight, along with a look at the leaderboards for Dci World-Class and Dci Open Class as they stand right now. First up today, let's take a look at the Dci World-Class Leaderboard for this morning. So, no shows yesterday, that's why I have no scores. No shows, unfortunately. So this is what it looked like after Broken Arrow on Tuesday night. Vanguard up at the top. They got past the Blue Devils and Bluecoats in their first head-to-head meeting of the season, all 3. 90.325 to an 89.775 for the Blue Devils. That is a little bit more than a half a point. That's huge. These 3 quarters, once again, go to Katy tomorrow night down in Texas. Then you've got Crown, Cavaliers, Boston, Blue Knights, Cadets. Blue Knights and Cadets, both of them in Denton tonight. Crown and Cavaliers, we get to see them square off tonight in Denton as well. We also add Phantom to the mix against the Blue Knights and the Cadets. Really, everybody except for those top 3, Vanguard, Blue Devils, and Bluecoats, have a show tonight in either Denton or Belton. Denton, at least in my view, is the better show, but unfortunately, Flow Marching is not streaming that one. They are only streaming Belton. So, it still has some pretty good quarters, 2 top 12 cores, Boston and Blue Stars. Now let's take a look at the Dci Open Class leaderboards for this morning. Leaderboard on the left includes all cores, no matter if they go to championships or not. Leaderboard on the right excludes cores that will not be at championships. Just for a little bit more of a specific look at what it actually looks like in terms of what Michigan City will look like. So left side leaderboard, you see Vanguard Cadets, Blue Devils B, Guardians, Louisiana Stars, Gold up the top 5. Same on the other side. Go a little in-depth here. Vanguard Cadets opened up a huge lead on Blue Devils B in their last meeting. 1.6 points. Guardians right there. I think Guardians could be a legitimate shot at potentially getting their first Open Class championship in just a few years of existence this season. Something else I want to point out that we do have here, and it's something that does not happen every year, and we have a lot of it in World Class this year. See that finals gap? You see 13, 12, 11 for those top 3. It's the same deal over in World Class. But there are core, well, just last week, first place in World Class was 8 points into finals. Now, I'm not saying Vanguard's not going to make finals. That's just stupid to even think. But what I'm trying to say is that the cores are as close as they've ever been. Because when you have 12 cores within 8 points, that's a very close margin. And it's not even 12 cores. It's more like 15 cores. Because those other ones are right there trying to get in Spirit, Troopers, Madison, those cores. Take a look down at the bubble here on the Open Class side of things. Heatwave and Colt Cadets. Heatwave in by 7.5 tenths. A lot of cores we don't get to see a lot of in the coming days. We get to see the Guardians tonight in Belton. Pumped to see them on Flow Marching. A lot of cores in California, Bakersfield, and there's one other show I think on Saturday. Maybe one on Sunday, but not a lot from these cores in the coming days as you see some of those Midwestern or East cores. We do get to see Spartan 7th Regiment, Legends, and the Raiders tomorrow night in Glens Falls. Not tomorrow night, Saturday night. So that could be one of the most interesting battles of the whole week. Spartans versus Legends. Spartans haven't had a show in a while. They've only slipped down to 8th. I think they could definitely be up there contending for the bronze medalist spot or even a championship as well. Now let's take a look at tonight's shows for Thursday, July 19th, 2018. 2 shows tonight. First up, Denton, Texas, Dci North Texas, presented by Stanberry Uniforms. Lots of course at this one. All-time Central. I'll read it down as it goes. 7 o'clock, Welcome to National Anthem. 7:12, Sound Sport Group Arsenal from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Be interesting to see what they bring to the field tonight. Few years of existence for that group now. Be interesting to see if they maybe can get into DCI's open class over the next few seasons. Going down from there, lots of world-class scores. Music City, Troopers, Mandarins, Colts, Academy, Intermission, Crossman, Phantom, Blue Knights, Cadets, Crown, Cavaliers. What to watch for here? Troopers and Colts. I'm not sure that they've gone head-to-head. If they have, it would have been on Monday night in either Kansas or Arkansas. But those two could be very close to each other because really they're both in that 77, 76, 75, 74 range, and I think they could go head-to-head all years. We've been seeing the past few seasons with these two, actually. You have Mandarins, Academy, Crossman, Phantom. Where do they all fit in? Because Mandarins, yes, we know they're so strong. We know Academy has a great visual program. At least that's what the recaps say. Could they potentially get up to the Crossman, maybe, and contend with them for a finalist spot? I think that might be the biggest battle to watch here. Another thing to watch, Phantom, Blue Knights, Cadets. I think Cadets are kind of right there in 7th. They're not going to go up, I don't think. They might go up. I don't think they're going down, though, because unless the Blue Knights or Phantom make a move soon, over the next few weeks, those two are just going to get caught in a battle, which is what happened last year. Those two were just so close for the remainder of the season. Finally, the Blue Knights pulled away as the season went on, but it kind of hurt them because it kind of hurt their momentum. The judges would keep putting them side by side with Phantom, and they couldn't get above there because the judges just kept them together. Could that happen again? I think Phantom shows better this year. I think Blue Knights show was better last year. So how would I put them? I think the Blue Knights have a better musical production. I think Phantom's more of a visual or general effects standpoint. They do play well, but who knows? Cadets, where can they fit in? If the Blue Knights would catch them, which I don't really think will happen, they wouldn't fall any farther, would they? I don't really see that happening. And then, of course, Carolina Crown and the Cavaliers down there, the last 2 courses to perform. I personally think the Cavaliers show is better. It's better executed, I think is the word. Crown has the show. They have the talent. I just think that there are a few little pieces missing from the show design. So I think these two will go head-to-head all year. When we throw Boston in that mix, which I think is better than both of them, it'll be interesting to see where things play out throughout the final few weeks of the DCI Tour. A few notes for this one. DCI North Texas at the C.H. Collins Athletic Complex. The Denton ISD is where this is located, so Denton ISD uses this stadium on a regular basis. In Denton, Texas, of course, weather forecast, excessive heat warning in effect here, 104 at showtime, which means it's even hotter during the day as these corps are rehearsing. I saw yesterday on Twitter, Phantom Regiment actually got a nap block to kind of escape from the heat and get into the gym and be a little more cool, I guess. As you go through the night, 101, 98, 94, mostly sunny to mostly clear skies. Very hot, though, if you are planning to attend the show or performing in the show as a member. Second and finally tonight, Belton, Texas, DCI Central Texas, presented by Flow Marching. Of course, you can watch on Flow Marching because the show is presented by them. 6:20, Soundsport Group Compass from Midland, Texas. Compass, a relatively new group to the Sound Sport and DCI world. 6:30, Welcome to National Anthem. 6:40, Open Class Guardians. It will be interesting to see where they play them with no other Open Class course here against Pioneer, Jersey Surf, Seattle Cascades, Genesis, etc. Course that they will be going against for a semifinalist berth in August. Then you have those world-class courses, Pioneer, Jersey Surf, Seattle Cascades, Genesis. Intermission at 8:05, 8:22 Pacific Crest, followed by Spirit of Atlanta. Oregon Crusaders, a good draw, I guess you could call it here. Blue Stars, Madison, Boston round out the night. This show, by all means, not a show with a bunch of powerhouses. This is not what we saw, or what we're going to see in Denton. This is not what we saw in St. Louis the other day. This is not what we saw in Broken Arrow. What this show is here in Belton is not filled with title contenders, aside from the Boston Crusaders. This right here is something I would like to think of as a basketball game, a football game, some type of sports match. That you've got not the strongest teams, like say in college football, for example. You've got 2, 4, and 6 teams. They're not title contenders. They're not going to be going to the national championship game and contending for a championship. They might go to a bowl game. Who knows? But what this is this is kind of, you got to think of this as that mindset. You might look at this lineup and go, that's a terrible show. You might have Flow Marching. You might go, I'm just not going to watch it. It's not strong shows. This show has so many small battles in it. Just look at some of them. You've got the whole first half of the show all going against each other pretty much. You've got Surf and Seattle Cascades, they meet up tonight. Genesis and Oregon Crusaders, they're pretty close in scores. Guardians will be close to them. Spirit, how do they defeat Madison again? The Blue Stars, how far do they get away from Madison and Spirit? The Oregon Crusaders, as I said, they'll be going against Genesis, Pacific Crest. Could they get up near Madison or Spirit? There's just so much to look at with this show that you have to kind of think of it in the mindset of that these are not title contenders. They don't have the best well-designed shows in DCI. What they are is just a really strong show. And if you're thinking, I wonder who's going to win tonight along the road, like along 2 weeks from now, if you're thinking, all right, Genesis and Oregon Crusaders go head-to-head tonight, who's going to win this? You have to look back at this show because this show has all those strong battles between these cores that are so close together. This is literally, by the amount of small little things that could happen in the scores of this show, this could be one of the tightly contested shows from like 4th down to 8th. I'm just making up that number. Just a great show in Belton, though. DCI Central Texas, Tiger Field at Belton High School in Belton, Texas. Weather forecast, excessive heat warning in effect here as well, just like in Denton. 104 degrees at start time, down to 98 by 8, and 95 as the show comes to a close. Sunny skies, going to clear skies as the night goes on. Hopefully, no members feel ill or anything because of the heat here. Of course, that would be a terrible thing for these cores, but definitely a risk that these members do take, and that makes them so strong throughout this summer is they're rehearsing today in 110-degree heat, and then they have to go perform in 104-degree heat with uniform and everything on. So really just a hot night in both Denton and Belton. Now, just a few things before I close here today. Make sure to check out drumcorpscentral.weebly.com for all your latest updates from the DCI and DCA summer tours. Scores, schedules, leaderboards, and more can all be found on my own personal website about all things drum corps, drumcorpscentral.weebly.com. Make sure to check out my Twitter and Instagram pages at DrumCorpsGeek and subscribe to my YouTube channel where this podcast and more will be posted, Drum Corps Central. Thank you for watching today. I'll be back tomorrow with another edition of Drum Corps Central, a podcast recapping tonight's two shows and taking a look down the road with the Texas tour in full swing. Good luck to all performing members and corps tonight.